It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Guys, I've been unintentionally gatekeeping this story, and now it's time. About a month ago, I went on a first date with a man I had met on Hinge. We'd been talking for like almost a month before we went on this first date. On our first date, he told me he had been separated for 2 years and divorced for 2 months, which felt a little quick to me. Yeah. I shared with him that I had been recently love bombed and that I was like really trying to slow things down on the dating front and take things really slow because I learned my lesson. Right after the first date, next day he immediately asked me on a second date. I'm like, no, don't want to move too quickly. Ask me on a date for the next day. No, don't want to move too quickly. Tuesday comes around. He's like, do you want to go on a date tomorrow? Meaning Wednesday. I was like, look at you planning in advance. Let's do it. I said yes to Wednesday. I had plans that Tuesday night to go over to a friend's house for a going away party, and he texted me and was like, hey, I can't wait until tomorrow to see you. Do you want to just grab quick drinks before your going away party? And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. So we go out to drinks at this awesome spot in DC, and while we're sitting there, we're having normal conversation, and I'm joking about the fact that he is 36 because I always find myself dating people in the age range 34 to 36. It's just like my sweet spot. And he's like, well, actually, I have to tell you something. I'm actually 39. My age is wrong on my Hinge. And I was like, do you think I'm stupid? If you got divorced 2 months ago and that's when you made your Hinge, you were lying. If you made it back when you were 36, you were cheating on your wife. So what? Also, I'm pretty sure your Hinge updates every year, like as you get older. Like I'm pretty sure it changes by itself. So I was like, what the fuck? That's so weird of you. I literally demanded he show me his physical ID because I thought that was so weird. And I was really creeped out. And honestly, I should have been out then. So I see his ID, he's actually 39, and I say to him, this is so weird of you. There's no good time when you're dating girls on Hinge to tell them that you're not the age you put on your profile. Like, you could tell them in that first message, or you could tell them, like, when on your wedding day, and no matter what, that's fucking weird of you. Like, that's never gonna be a normal conversation that girls are just okay with. Like, just make it your regular age. Obviously, you're trying to show up on Hinge for, like, young women who you can, whatever. Anyway, so we finish drinks, we kiss, it's a good time. He goes home, I go to my friend's going away party, and I pose a question to the group. I'm like, hey, he lied to me about his age. It feels kind of sus. What does everyone think? My best friend, who was right, is like, get out of that situation. That is freaky, girl. But all my other friends at the party were kind of like, oh, you're just collecting data. Like, that's a first data point. Like, yes, that's concerning, but why don't you collect more data and see how you feel about the guy? Because at the time, I really liked him. We had great chemistry. He was super attractive. Like, we just vibed. But also, like, maybe part of that vibe and part of why that was exciting is because I could sense, like, something was off, or, like, we had that chemistry because, like, there was that excitement and spark. But like a lot of the time, like good healthy relationships start like more of a slow burn, or like with a friendship. Like I should have known that that spark was indicative of like there's something wrong here. So now it's Wednesday, it's time for our pre-planned date, and the first 2 dates he had come into DC for me. He lives in Maryland, so I said, hey, I'd be happy to come out to Maryland for you. I feel badly that you're always coming to DC. And he was like, well, you don't have a car. And I was like, I have a Metro card, and have you ever heard of that Uber, or do 36-year-olds not know about Uber? He was like, oh, I have a surprise for you. Be ready at 7. Me, having watched every fucking rom-com, was like, this is so cute and romantic. I'm so excited. Dumb, dumb, dumb. So he comes, he picks me up in his car. I'm like, wow, this is like a real date. He's picking me up, he's driving me to the place, and it's all a surprise. I don't even know where we're going. He takes me to this restaurant in DC called Mercy Me. Food was incredible. And I'm like, thank you so much for dinner. Like, was this a surprise? And he's like, no, I have one more surprise. This man proceeds to say, oh, I have to work in Arlington tomorrow, so I decided to spend the night in DC so I don't have to schlep all the way from Maryland to Arlington for work at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Spending the night in DC, got a hotel room, but what he didn't do was ask me to stay over with him. Like, he's that good. Like, he didn't ever explicitly ask that. He made me think it was my decision. So dinner ends, we like go to a bar, we grab a couple of drinks. I'm not even drinking. I'm literally like dead sober, and I made these decisions. But we walk out of the restaurant, he's like, do you want me to drive you home, or do you want to come up to my hotel room? And I was like, I could use a hotel room tour. I go, hotel room tour, one thing leads to another. Take that as you will. Probably wasn't my best call. Anyway, I wake up in the morning at my own house. I'm on a high. I'm like, last night was so amazing. He's texting me. I'm like, we're getting married. But then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking really hard about it. And where he lives in Maryland is like 30 minutes from me. And Arlington is like 20 minutes from me. And I don't understand logically why someone would get a hotel in the city to not have to drive an extra 20 minutes in the morning. Something's not adding up. My spidey senses, something was wrong. My gut, women's intuition, something was off. I start thinking.
He was already in the
I offered to come to his. He lives in his own house. I, live in a house with 3 roommates. The only reason I wouldn't want someone to come to my house would be if I was still living with my wife. So that activates the crazy in me. And I go to the internet and I pay for a background check, $25. Highly recommend doing that. Honestly, do it before your first dates. I should have done it way, way back. And I find every single thing about this man, right? Like his entire family, every address he's lived in since his college dorm, every traffic citation he's ever gotten, every piece of dirt on this man. And you know what isn't there? Divorce papers. So I start freaking out. I'm like, why are there no divorce papers? Could they be sealed? Like, are divorce papers even public record? I've never been divorced. I call the Maryland County court system and I ask them, hi, do you have any divorce records under his name and his wife's maiden name? They don't have any. I say, can you tell me if there's a sealed record under either of their names? They say, yes, we can tell you if there's a record, but we can't tell you what's in it. I said, awesome. Do you have records under either of these names? No records in the state of Maryland. I contact my family friend who's a lawyer. I say, hey, do you have to get divorced in the state where you're living? And they said, yeah, you have to get divorced in the state where either you or your partner is living. And I had both their names on the lease of their home address from my background check. I knew they both lived in the state of Maryland since 2012. If they had gotten a divorce, it would be in the Maryland court system. So I'm realizing this man is married. So what do? I go on Facebook and I post in the Are We Dating the Same Guy DC Facebook group. I say, hey, this is Danny. And I include a picture of him. I say, he lied about me to his age. Something feels sus. I tell the whole hotel story and ask anyone if they know anything. Within an hour, my post is blown up. Hundreds of women commenting how sus the hotel thing is and that it's happened to them before. He's definitely married and cheating. A couple hours later, a comment comes in. Hi, I'm the wife. Call me. So I pick up the phone and of course the first thing I say is, I'm so sorry I'm sleeping with your husband. So at this point, I've called the wife after she commented on my Facebook post saying, hey, I'm the wife, call me. And she's like, no sweat off my back. I'm like, what? And she proceeds to tell me the craziest story I've ever heard in my entire life. Here's the thing though. This is her story of her experience with that man. And I recognize that's not necessarily my story to tell, so I'm going to be very conscientious of the details I choose to include, and I would ask that you please respect that. She goes on to tell me that he's cheated on her hundreds of times with at least 20 different women. They still live in the same house, which is, my intuition was right, but in separate bedrooms, and they're not together, they're technically separated. I asked why they weren't divorced yet, and she said he doesn't want to get divorced. Guess what? She knew about me. She said he told her that he was going on a date with me, and he even recapped it after. Not only that, but he was literally talking shit about me. He told her I was crazy and I talk too much.
You do.
Arguably true, but screw you. But she also told me in that week that we had gone on our first 2 dates, he had also slept with 3 other women. For the last 8 years, he's been sleeping with one woman in particular, which is actually what his job in Arlington was. And they first started sleeping together when she was 19 years old, and he would sneak into her parents' house to hook up with her.
Wow.
He's incredibly abusive, controlling, manipulative. In all seriousness, I cannot recommend strongly enough to stay away from this man because he is very convincing, and even I was swindled. And let me tell you, in this moment, I felt so naive. I was really hard on myself. I felt really guilty and really dumb. How could I let myself be in that position? And honestly, really scared. Like, I was in a room with this man in private, and now hearing that he has done all of these things, like, I put myself in a really dangerous situation, and I don't want anyone else to put themselves in a situation like that, because in retrospect, that's really, really scary. And I could have gotten really hurt. And I think the other thing about this that I've taken away is that I'm feeling really jaded, because how can I ever go on a date again? I talked to this man for a month. We went on 3 dates. I really felt like I had started to know his character and his intentions, and how can I ever trust someone again after this experience? I've paused all my dating apps. Like, I will not be dating for the foreseeable future. I sent him a long series of explicit voice memos. I tried to post them previously. TikTok took it down, understandably, for bullying and harassment. Yeah, I blocked him on everything. I told him then and there that I was about to post his name all over the internet. Here it is if you need it. Because really my intention with this is to protect other women. As funny as my last story time is, which it is, it's funny, it's a crazy ride, it's also a story about trusting your gut and trusting your intuition. Women's intuition is never wrong, and we will always find out. That's one thing about us women. I reported him to Hinge, and as far as I know, they've shut down his account. Not to say that he couldn't make other profiles or profiles in other apps. And here's my advice to women. Number one, it's not your fault. You did what you could with the information that you had. Number two, trust your gut. If something feels off, it is. Number three, get out at the first red flag. Do not give anyone the benefit of the doubt ever. Remember, you are smart, you have agency, and you can get out of situations like this.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. We back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog. Man, shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wheels of Deals, man. He keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Hit the link down below. We got the losers again, Dallas Cowboys. Tumbler cup, you can get you one. Not a Dallas Cowboys. Please don't get a Dallas Cowboys tumbler cup. Get you a custom San Francisco Denise. Get you a San Francisco Denise, okay? Jesus Christ. And just let y'all know, Dallas has lost to the San Francisco 49ers for the past 5 years. I just want to make my subscribers excited and be happy to know that we not them boys this year. But next year, we going to win the Super Bowl. Hit the link down below for custom_freaks. Okay, on Instagram. All right, so let's get into it, man. This woman did a whole lot, and the red flags was just hitting her dead in the head. I seen a video one time where a ref threw a flag, the yellow flag, penalty flag, and it hit the player right in the head, square in the head. This little bing bag flag. That's what was happening to her with red flags, okay? But she took the advice of her one friend who said, no, she didn't take the advice of the one friend and said, no, listen to your intuition. And she took the advice of all her other friends. That just let me know all y'all women just be getting hit with red flags. That one friend, she was like, I should have told you. Anyway. You know what's good though? Is like, I'm gonna tell y'all what I be doing. Okay? I lay it all out on the table. All the red flags. I got multiple kids, multiple baby mamas. I got, I drink a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but I drink. At one point I was smoking a lot. I'm bald head, okay? I snore when I sleep, okay? I mean, it's a host of red flags I could tell you. I'm stubborn, okay? According to some of my exes, I'm nice in the beginning, then I be mean. Red flags, I tell them all, I be like, hey, red flag on the play. You know what these ladies be saying? It's okay, PJ, we still love you. I be like, boy, y'all ain't shit. I'm just joking. Nah, but man, yeah. Listen. I have a list of red flags. And they not big red flags. They small red flags. Some of them I ignore. And some of them, what I do is, I'll mental note it. And I'll be like, that's one of them red flags. And I technically ignore it, but I keep it in the back of my mind. So when stuff happens, I be like, man, see, I should have just listened to myself because I knew it. I even knew this one girl was messy than a mug, and I was just like, I mean, I be watching this messy content, but I'm not messy in real life. Like, I'm not calling my homeboys and telling, oh man, this, and this, and this, and this. Or, I ain't doing all that. But if we watching it on here, we watching it together. So all y'all messy too. But we all messy in this way. I'm not finna be calling you, girl, did you hear what happened? So, that girl was messy, and I was like, I ignored it, and I was like, yeah, she in real life messy. I ignored it, and yep, what I know, that chick got messy. I was just like, bro, I knew it. I should have let her go, but you still be wanting to hit. You still be, I think she might change for me. She ain't gonna do me wrong. Listen, this lady did exactly that. He ain't gonna do me wrong. Well, let me see. He's a nice guy. Oh, let me go to his hotel room. She thought about the distance to the hotel room way after she already let him hit. She like, man, I just gave this man some, and he only lived 20 minutes away. So wow, he tricked me. He must be married. Let me go Google his name. I mean, you should be asking for his my chart, not his his wedding vows. Girl, you might have something. You sounds like you just went to the hotel and didn't use a condom. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'ma just say he didn't, because 9 times out of 10, when y'all get done like that, no condom, no condom. Okay. And yeah, I just thought that, her storytelling was good. She got right down to the point. Okay. She talks a lot and fast. And I think she was overly animated. Like she just has the world figured out. Women's intuition. Listen, I'm so sick of women's intuition because y'all keep saying y'all got women's intuition, but y'all just be nosy. Because where was her intuition the first night when she gave it up at that hotel? Well, it wasn't the first night, but the first night they stayed together at that hotel. Where was her intuition? See? But she couldn't be nosy. She was just a little tipsy and horny. She didn't say she was drunk. She just said she had 8 drinks. So she was tipsy. And if you know anybody who talk a lot and they drink, the motor was running. Motor was running. He was trying to shut her up by putting this in her mouth. He said, "You want to come to my hotel room?" She was like, She lived with her roommate, so she probably don't be having a lot of guys come over to her. So, and then the thing about the age, yeah, it's weird, but it's not that weird. I don't lie about my age, but I'm also not on dating apps. So the fact that she's finding guys on dating apps and thinks there's nothing going to be wrong with them, she's mistaken. Because why are you on a dating app? Why can't you meet somebody in real life? Like, I can understand if you meet them through social media because you kind of like see them a few times. But on a dating app, they're directly talking to other people and they're looking to find somebody either to sleep with or scam. And ma'am, you got scammed and slept with. So there you have it, everyday people, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.